The MoneroTopia guest segment is sponsored by Cake Wallet. Store, send, receive, and exchange your Monero and Bitcoin safely on iOS and Android too. Cake Wallet is open source, and you always control your own keys.
Dang, we need to get that new cake logo up there. Looks like you're muted, Doug.
Oh, yeah, we got to update around here. We'll get that updated. Here we are. We got Alan R12, or I don't know what you want to go by, man. How's it going?
Hi. Yeah, it's usually R12, like that in Spanish. It's a reference to the car that you're seeing there. It's the
Yeah, it's a pretty nice car.
Yeah, it's a cool car, man. Yeah.
But thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. A long time. We met in person. I think at least once, right? When I was, that was a couple of years ago now. And yeah, I saw you guys posted on XMR Bazaar, property for sale. Yep. In the Buenos Aires area, and actually, I saw you put it on Reddit, and people for some reason they thought it was a scam, which I don't know.
Yeah, they totally thought it was a scam, and it was based off of the fact that I used a drone photo of the town. That there was a Twitter user that posted when he was doing a little tour of some of the small towns of the province on one of the routes, and the original post has absolutely nothing to do with property sale. So, and I used that picture because it's a pretty nice picture. It shows the surrounding area. It shows the town. In fact, in Spanish, it calls it a town straight out of a fairy tale. And I just used that. I took that picture because it was a great picture. I saved it at the time, and I used that. I circled the property in red, which consists of 3 lots. And that was it. And I really didn't get any scam vibes from what I posted. So.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But the Monero community being the Monero community, which is good it's good that we, we're vigilant, but then sometimes we also kick out our own people.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. So guys, definitely not a scam. I know the people who posted this, who are selling it. Super cool to see that they put this up, and you guys are calling it a prepper house.
Yeah, that was sort of the idea behind the design, the remodel. It was kind of with that as the core value. Was there's a lot of redundancy. There's a lot of attention to the different services, the gas, the water. It could be dual sourced. There's electric everything, or there's propane gas everything. There's 2 different water tanks that are they're in the same tower, but they're controlled by 2 different pumps. The circuit breaker board is pretty elaborate, so you could segment everything. There's a very large brick shed that's divided into 2. One acts kind of like a vault, has a very heavy, imposing exterior door. I don't know if that picture is there. No, not there. But one is kind of more for hanging out, having parties. There's an Argentine parrilla, as they say here, which is a grill. It's like a brick oven. But if you want, I can read through the post. I think.
Yeah. Tell us more. So yeah, how many acres? How much land does it come with?
All right. So there's like I said, there's 3 lots. The house is on one. It's 50 meters by 50 meters, which is about 0.67 acres. So there's 2 of those, and then there's another lot that's behind the one next to the house that is mostly wooded, and that is 0.35 acres. And we have a total of almost 2 acres. It comes in 1 3/4 acres. And,
nice. That's a decent, decent plot of land. And so what area, maybe we could bring up a map too so people get an idea of where this is. So it's like in the Buenos Aires province, right? So it's outside of the city, obviously.
Yes.
But it's in the province. So how far is it from like Buenos Aires proper?
So you're going to be looking at 140 kilometers. That's probably 80 something miles, and you can do the trip very comfortably between 1.5 hours and 2 hours, depending on your speed and the traffic conditions. But you could get there in 1.5 hours.
Cool.
And it's It's a nice ride. It's pretty flat. It's farmland. This is like real legit farmland zone farming. Totally. I mean, there's even like some Monsanto farms and stuff in the area. This is where most of the economic activity of Argentina as a agricultural based economy comes from. Is this area?
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I love that you guys put this up on XMR Bazaar. So you're asking for 500 XMR. You're pricing it in XMR.
Yeah, I want it just priced in XMR, which is it's a unique opportunity as well. I guess the conditions of the market in Argentina. When you buy property, it's generally in cash. There are no mortgages. There are some banks that will give you some sort of line of credit, but then you're immediately going to convert that into cash to give to the seller. So it's
cash dollars.
And cash dollars is what they use. And you don't even need to disclose that. The buyer and the seller have to agree on a price, and that's in the contract. That's overseen by the notary that finishes the transaction. But they don't even need to see the briefcase of cash that is generally involved. So with this, it would just be talking with the potential buyer and coming up with a price in dollars, something low, and we would tell that to the notary that signs it and finalizes the transaction. But the actual
percentage fees.
Yeah, there's percentage fees that are based off of that value, the dollar value. But the transaction itself would just be conducted in XMR. And that would
awesome.
be it.
And plus, obviously, you guys are local. Your wife has a very good understanding of all the legalities involved in the process, right? She's done this before.
Yeah, there was no problem with that.
Yeah, so it's kind of a perfect first property for somebody to buy with Monero. And like you said, the way things function down there, pretty much all purchases are cash buys, right? So this really isn't that much different. So instead of using a suitcase filled with $100 bills, you're using Monero, right?
Yep, that's it.
That's wild. So yeah, most property transactions are happening with like dollar bills, right?
Yeah. People, all of them pretty much. I mean, even when you do get some sort of line of credit, you're expected to then withdraw that. Like the bank will issue that to you with some repayment terms, but they're going to give you the cash, and you're going to present that cash. You're going to add it to whatever cash you have to then give to the seller. And
that really is amazing. Like there's not that's what excited me about Argentina when I went down there, and when I saw you guys down there, when I was thinking of doing the conference down there, it is one of the places in the world like where you could show up with Monero and buy property directly, and it's not as easy to do that in other parts of the world. I mean, it could technically be done, but here it's like what the current culture is. People just selling property, kind of black market, right? For cash, right? It's kind of off the books. And then, like you said, there's the on the books component. But the custom is that people just pay with cash, which is amazing. It's like,
yeah, I remember when you came and you had the big pile of pesos, and you were very excited. I remember to buy. I think you went to go buy a lighter or something, and you just pulled that stack out and this big smile on your face. I remember. Pretty fun.
The worthless cash. How have things changed since I saw you guys down there like 2 years ago?
There's definitely been a lot of.
It was right before Milei got elected. It was literally that I left. I think the day before the election.
Yep. Would you like to answer that?
Yeah, sure. Hi guys.
What's up?
Okay, things change radically because whatever perspective we had was very dark and negative. But things like, you have two paths, and there's one this bright with bursting in, and then there's the other one where you're going to die, right? So we had these two options, and hopefully it turned out right. I also wanted to add that because of these government policies in explaining where money come from, had been very flexible. This price where we're selling this property for is, even if we want to declare its full price, is below the maximum amount where you actually have to explain where the funds come from. So there's no paperwork, there's no saying where it comes from, there's no accountant having to, do all this thing against money laundering, all this crazy stupid thing. And things are going this direction with Argentina, and that is very, very enthusiastic, and it's very promising, and we love it very much because government is actually stepping back, is stepping out of our lives, and that is amazing.
That's beautiful to hear. I mean, because there were some fears that things wouldn't actually turn out that way, and obviously, Argentina has a very robust black market, right? Because people rely on the U.S. dollar; they were never able to depend on their own currency. So the concern, at least my concern, was that the black market maybe would start to go away with Milei, ironically, because he would fix the money, so people would kind of come back out of the darkness, and there would no longer be the cuevas, there would no longer be people just relying on cash. But is that not the case?
Well, that is engraved in our culture. We will never say goodbye to that because we're always expecting things to go wrong. So we always want to have this plan B type of situation. And people still conduct business in cash, like a lot. Even now we're using more pesos, which is our local currency, but also dollars in the same way. And the thing is that still they could not really make better rulings as for tax purposes. So taxes are really a full distortion in the economy right now, and they have still wasn't able to pass a law to reduce this heavy taxation. So people, to avoid paying taxes, we still have this very under the table economy going on, and I really don't believe that will ever go away. I mean, all these businesses might not be, the cuevas might not be doing exact the same job that they did before, which was offering cash to tourists in the street, but they are doing other more complex type of things like financing and getting money from banks abroad. It's just like they are becoming a little bit more complex, but that is still in place, and I think it will always be.
So you could still roll into Buenos Aires with some Monero, go to a cueva, and turn that into cash?
Yes.
Oh yeah. They might not accept the Monero itself. You'll have to convert it to USDT with the Trocador or something, but they will definitely take that.
That's awesome. Yeah, too bad they're not accepting Monero directly, but I think that has more to do with the fact that it's not on exchanges, right? It's not on enough exchanges. Right.
Yeah,
Well,
none of the native ones here,
yeah,
the local ones, none of them support Monero, sadly. But hopefully,
because I think most of the cuevas are using like Binance or something, right? Probably.
Yeah, I've had to deposit when I do that too. They come up as when I check it on chain. I see that it's a Binance account. But yeah, it's usually USDT over Tron is what most of the digital cuevas want.
That's wild, man. That. Everybody's running off of Tron, right? Like, who would have predicted that one? Like, we got all these like amazing cryptos, and people are using USDT on Tron.
I know. I recently did a property acquisition, and I had most of the funds in USDT over Tron. I'm just looking at it, sweating. Like, okay, you have 2 points of failure here. Well, 3 really if you count the dollar itself, but you have 2 points of failure that are huge. But that's what they want.
Wild. So do you guys see things continuing to play out that way, with the stable coins really being what most are using? on the streets, or do we get to the point where we hopefully start to see some real crypto adoption there? People are using something like Monero.
Good question. I feel like the institutional type, the Cueva types and the financiers, I think they're probably going to stick with stable coins for a while. But although one of the financiers that I do occasionally conduct business with, he is planning on doing some sort of crypto loans. So that's a step in the right direction, I would say, where he's going to actually take your crypto as collateral, and then he'll do that. So he's been exploring that, but I would say it's probably far in the future.
Can you give us more insight into what the general crypto scene looks like in Buenos Aires these days? Is it similar to when I was there, or is that, I would think that has improved as well?
I think there's a little bit more adoption with some of those prepaid cards. I see them a lot more. So people they have crypto in their wallet, let's say, like in their physical wallet that they carry in the street. What else?
Well, those wallets do convert to whatever currency you're spending when you use your card. So you can actually fund it with whatever that the app supports. Yeah. And then it would just convert it if you buy something in pesos or if you buy something in dollars. So a lot of people just do that. They invest in different coins and they keep it in that wallet. And then when they need to do any sort of a spending, the card converts it on the spot.
Oh, wait, and what card is it? What is this? This is what?
There's a couple prepaid cards. Probably the most popular one is Lemon. And then there's another one called Bello, and there's another one called Ripio. And
there's several.
There's one called Buenbit, and I think Bitso might even have a card. It's an exchange based in Mexico that does service here. So there's several options.
Yeah, this developed a lot because of having crazy inflation going on. So people would not want to keep their money in pesos. So they would just buy whatever coin, it doesn't matter. And they would just have it in this wallet and only convert it when they had to spend it. And this adoption has been established as, a thing that I don't think is going away. People that used to do it because of inflation, they still do it even though inflation is not a problem anymore.
Interesting. That's cool that it's so easy to do that over there. It's so widely used. FD tipped 91 cents. I don't get the USDT Tron popularity. The send fee is so high, like $8. Is that the case? Really? I didn't really know.
I've been getting somewhere consistently in like the $3, $4 range. I don't know if I've ever paid up to $8. Maybe if there's like a strain with the energy or whatever happens with the idiosyncrasies of Tron.
Mm-hmm.
It's generally like $4.
I mean, do you anticipate some other stable coins perhaps rising and becoming popular there?
I hope so. Like I said, I dislike both Tether as its own thing, and I dislike the Tron blockchain. So I hope so. It's filled with scammers and bots. You send a transaction, and then your history is just filled with fake transactions with the first 4 characters at the first and last 4. So if you quickly look and want to send directly from your wallet or whatever, you're in danger. It's I don't like either vehicle, but hopefully a better one comes in.
There's no talk of like CBDC in Argentina, right?
No. They said that they are not going that direction.
No, there was the other candidate that lost. He mentioned it because it'd be a way to further manipulate the peso, let's say. But no, Milei has not expressed any interest in that.
No, expressed against it.
He expressed against it.
Are they doing anything with like Bitcoin treasuries, things like that? Like holding Bitcoin, the government?
You mentioned mining, perhaps?
Yeah, mining in Patagonia because it's really cold, so it would be good for the servers. But I don't know much about that.
Interesting. And then how about like Monero itself, other than organic adoption, just his policies, the government's policies. Obviously, you're here, you're listing your property for sale for Monero, so that's a good sign. Is it like everybody's just kind of ignoring this, looking the other way, and do you kind of see that being the case for the foreseeable future, or is there potential that they might start to take a look at things like Monero and get in the way of it, or is it going to be the open free market that we're hoping Malay will stick to.
He wants to do the whatever, you can use whatever currency you want. So they are hoping to pass that, because we had a lot of regulations and restrictions on what type of currency we were forced to use for transactions. So previously we were forced to use only local currency, peso, and now we can conduct US dollars too. And the next step is just doing absolute multi-currency. You can use whatever you want, and nobody is gonna force you by law to use anything in particular. So it's all about what the parts agree on.
Beautiful. So for the foreseeable future, Monero will be welcome to be used down there. Like you're not gonna be considered doing participating in illegal commerce by way of using Monero, right? It's just going to be use whatever you want, right?
Well, in terms of property, you just have to, because of the taxes that you have to pay for the transaction, you have to express it in what would be the equivalent in local currency. But you don't really have to say,
And you could fake the price too. I mean, everybody puts a lower price, obviously, to pay less taxes.
Right.
So you just come up with a number.
Not that you guys would do that, but that's what that's what the culture is down there. We get it.
Cultural evasion.
Yeah. It's what everybody else is doing, not what you guys are doing. This is awesome. And so, how about the property scene itself? I imagine property values, real estate has been going up, right? Ever since Malay got in there, people excited, looking to move down there, live in liberty-loving Argentina. Is that the case? Is that like really what's happening?
There's been let's see. It's complicated because there's limited credit, so the prices are depressed in general because of that.
They've been raising,
but they've been going up because now there's been more credit options, different lines of credit being presented, as people are less afraid to invest in Argentina. So that's going to slowly drive the value up. And there's also been increased demand in the city as far as smaller apartments, studio apartments, one-bedroom apartments. The cost of construction has also gone up.
Yes, and there's also that with all the currency controls, you couldn't, if you were a foreigner or you had your money abroad, there was a lot of restrictions to bring it in. So even if you wanted to buy something and you have to bring your money from abroad, that was like just straight not allowed. And now that changed a lot. So there's a more active market of a lot more people that now has the chance to go for property here.
Yeah, and the fact that he got rid of the justification laws, like you have to prove your money didn't come from money laundering or narco traffic. You had to prove all that. Now they raised the limits to something extraordinarily higher. They just totally got rid of it.
Oh, really?
No, they raised it, and now they're hoping they could pass this law in the Congress, so to actually so whoever that does this will not have future legal issues. So it's already in place. You can do it right now, but they want to just pass this law for future security.
So that's helping too, because that's going to bring in either money from abroad of the locals, or it'll just bring in money from abroad from foreigners as well. That there's less obstacles and there's no need for justification.
And no taxes either.
And no taxes.
It's going to bring in a lot of Monero people, right? It's a place to go spend your Monero. It's a dream come true for me. I mean, just seeing it on XMR Bazaar. The fact that it's a prepper house is pretty funny too, because I think that aligns with a lot of the Monero community. So it's kind of the perfect thing. You go there, live off the land, and you're only then 2 hours away from an amazing city. So pretty awesome. How long? What's that?
And closer to the airport, you're about an hour, maybe a little bit less from the airport, from the international airport.
The main airport.
Oh, that's incredible. How long were you guys living there for?
Well, we've we purchased the land in 2019, I believe, and then we remodeled the house in 2021, and we've mostly used it as kind of a getaway type of house, or we'd stay for maybe a month or two at a time. But we split the time between there and Buenos Aires proper.
Cool.
And yeah, if you want, I can read through the listing.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I wrote Casa de Campo Prepper in Buenos Aires province. Notable house and adjacent 2 lots in the pueblo of Elvira. That's Elvira, but yeah, they pronounce it Elvira. Restored in 2021 for sale. Also, just to mention, this is a notable house because it was always one of the larger, more impressive ones of the town, and it also served as sort of a satellite office for some utilities to be able to pay, and it was also the first one that had a landline telephone installed. So people go to use the phone because it was the only one in town. So it was a notable house.
Oh, that's awesome.
So location, under 2 hours from the city of Buenos Aires, 30 minutes on dirt road from the city of Lobos, which is the birthplace of Perón. There's a big sign with him on it. 1 hour from the airport, a town 15 minutes in either direction, including one with a large building materials and hardware store. Completely fertile soil in the heart of premium Argentine farmland. 5 minutes from an active local fishing location. Well water that has not run dry at any point in living memory.
Unlimited water.
So you have unlimited water.
Wow.
You just need your pumps. There's 2 on site. One is connected to a water softener system, which are actually pretty hard to find. If somebody wanted to, I'd throw it in if they're interested in buying it. But land features: almost 2 acres, 1,000-foot square house. It's actually a little bit more, but giant brick shed divided into 2 with 3 doors, including a parrilla argentina and a mini kitchen. And the other one is the vault. Fenced, mostly premium rhomboidal wire fence with quebracho wood posts, some new and restored legacy in the rustic style of the town. So because this is as large as it is, we didn't fence in everything. We fenced in the house property. That's all premium. And then the front facing the street of the adjacent lot is also with the premium new fence. And the rest is kind of recycled materials. That was either some wire, some rhomboidal, some like kind of like for animals, that kind of thing. Even some pieces of just some tin roof sheets, let's say. It's fenced in for the most part. Like you can have chickens and stuff. There's not gonna be any dogs, that kind of thing. I mean, a cat or a rabbit or something will probably enter.
And it's incredibly safe.
Yeah, it's
very safe.
It's a super quiet town, super safe as well. But
1 police officer, entire town.
is he still there?
Sometimes it's not even there.
Yeah. Pretty anarchist, really. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You could burn your garbage. You can do whatever. You could grow weed. I mean, there's plenty of land for that.
Nobody cares. Yeah.
Nobody's gonna care. Yeah. So
Amazing.
What was that?
It's just amazing. I love your definition of safe is that the police officer isn't around much.
Yep.
You don't have to worry. There's no police officers hanging around.
No.
It definitely sounds like a dream come true for the right person, for the right buyer. I think you're gonna see a taker. This might end up being our first house sale on XMR Bazaar. I saw another one went up recently. Somebody posted a house in Mendoza.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that. Yep.
That's pretty cool too. So hopefully this becomes a trend. You get more people in Argentina.
Actually, I saw the
property
Mendoza one from Reddit, and that's why I thought, okay, let me post this because, But no, I got flagged as a scammer and suspended, and I can't even respond or whatever. It's fine.
And in terms of property in general in Argentina, people that are selling it, like we said, everybody's accustomed to selling it for cash anyway. So you could essentially, as a Monero person, a Monero user, pretty easily using the Cuevas, go down there and kind of buy any property for Monero, right? Like it's quite doable, right?
Yeah. In fact, if some of you
doable.
are interested, I could maybe facilitate that as well.
Great.
Get the right contacts involved. Yeah, if somebody wanted to buy a different property, let's say they wanted to buy an apartment in the city at $100,000 or whatever, we could work that out.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
I could help make that.
Yeah, you guys might want to list that as a service on XMR Bazaar, honestly.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I'll have to work on that.
Yeah. since you guys are professionals in that realm. Amazing, guys. This is fantastic. I don't know. We could move on to viewers on stage and see if anybody has questions for you. That wants to come up on stage. Otherwise, I don't really have any other questions, and I think it's fantastic. Is there anything else you guys want to bring up with regards to it?
I just wanted to quickly, I guess, finish the post. Just a couple of the notable things. So the house features. There's the scrap metal pile there. That's actually pretty fun. There's a lot of sort of antique. I mean, it's kind of destroyed, but there's tons of scrap metal to if you want to do something with that. But house features completely new. In 2021, water, electricity, and gas lines. New tile, paint, doors, windows, roof, etc. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, fireplace, 3 security cameras and Hikvision DVR included. Carport, Argentine-style accents like Pinoteo wood, which is, you see...
it's 100-year-old.
It's like 100-year-old pine wood that's just filled with resin. And when you cut it, you can smell it still. It's pretty epic, but... the water tanks I briefly described, manual water pump as well. It's a little bit of prepper accent as well.
We built the house with that.
We actually built the house with just that before because the plumber took forever to come. But electricity, new, phone, internet, cabled to multiple spots in the house, gas connection in every room minus bathroom. And that's all. It's all new installation. The sheds, brick structure, concrete finish, 2 water lines, Parisha Argentina, divided in 2, vault-like segment and recreational segment. And there's a really cool door there as well. That was like a garage door, but we moved it to there. I wrote, why prepping? Well, an American prepper designed the remodel. Redundancies in water heating in the vault area were all consciously designed as such. The location also lends itself to the cause, as most neighbors have animals and knowledge of how to properly care and process them. Most have worked on farms at some point in their career. Noise, little. The town has under 200 people. Maybe for a holiday there will be loud music. The rest is detached silence. There's also Starlink, just to mention. It does reach there. Price, I put 500 XMR for the house, 100 XMR additional for the adjacent land, 50 XMR for turnkey outfitting with appliances, 50 XMR for legal and continued assistance. I wrote Bitcoin accepted at a rate of 1 Bitcoin equals 150 XMR.
So 700 XMR, right? Is what you're saying? 700 XMR gets you the house, the land, the turnkey, everything.
Yeah, and it's clearly, I wanted to throw out a number that maybe caught some attention. It could definitely be negotiated 100%, but that was just to kind of throw that out there. I think it's a reasonably fair price. Somebody might have a differing opinion, but I think it's reasonable. Yeah, also in Monero, there's the premium there that you're going to do the whole transaction in Monero instead of having to go pay commissions and do all kinds of gymnastics.
Yeah. Click of a button and you'll own a house. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. I mean, you can't do that with fiat, right? Like it's just not, or the traditional banking system. It just doesn't really work that way. I don't know. Maybe you're gonna want to use the XMR Bazaar escrow feature, or you'll just figure it out on your own. I'm assuming whoever buys it, they're gonna want to come down there, and the transaction will take place in person.
Yeah, we can do it in person.
But if somebody wants to use the escrow, even just to like put down a down payment or something to hold it, or maybe that could take place. All right, guys, this is exciting. Congratulations on getting this out there, putting it up there, and I have a feeling you'll see a taker at some point. I don't know. Who knows? But I could definitely see it happening. And yeah, we'll be in touch. Please do stick around a little bit. Let's get viewers on stage up. See if we get anybody that wants to pop up here. Tux, I don't know if you have any questions.
Not really.
Okay.
Just listening in. It's a cool place.
And
if you're that kind of person for that.
Yeah, we're MoneroTopia. As you guys know, we were looking to do it down there, but then we stuck with Mexico City. Our plan is to do it in Mexico City again, at least one more time, probably just one more time, and that's happening in February, but maybe Buenos Aires after that. It's definitely on our list of top options.